These great periods of awakening were preceded by prayer. Our concerts of prayer largely came from Jonathan Edwards. Edwards was absolutely convinced that the united prayers of God's people are more powerful than all the individual prayers. So he tried to help people to pray together that God indeed might bless. And God did bless. And it is estimated that perhaps 50,000 people came to saving faith in Christ. And even though that number does not seem to be large when you think of New England at the time, the Great Awakening, the first Great Awakening, had a marvelous and wonderful impact on society. Now, was it controversial? Yes. After it was over, you of course have controversy. Some people say that it was simply an emotional experience. And that's why Jonathan Edwards wrote the book Religious Affections. If you have read Religious Affections, and I need to tell you that I'm only now reading it. When I flew to California the other day, I read chapter 1 on the plane. I read chapter 2 yesterday. If I take enough trips, maybe in the next couple of months, I'll finish the book. But here's a book that talks about the great work that God does in the hearts of the regenerate and how to distinguish it from simply the flesh or the devil. The Religious Affections. It is not easy to read, but it is a gold mine, a treasure of theological and spiritual wisdom. So there you have the first great awakening that God did here in America. By the way, if I could commend to you Ian Murray's book on Jonathan Edwards, it is absolutely necessary reading for every single pastor. Ian Murray's biography of Edwards. You know, Edwards was kicked out of his church. Actually, he was voted out. 230 voted him out. And 25 were in favor of his staying, all because he disagreed with his grandfather and believed that all those who came to communion should be saved. And his grandfather, Solomon Stoddard, had said that it's okay if they aren't because grace is communicated through the sacraments. And here's a man who is America's premier theologian, voted out of his church, and a biographer said of him that his happiness in God was beyond the reach of his enemies. May I commend to you the writings of Jonathan Edwards.